A very good morning to you. Have you ever wondered what you would do if you were told you've got 3 months to live? Interesting, isn't it? Welcome to Life and Style Inspiration Monday. We are all about giving you empowerment, encouragement, inspiring you to be and do better. And on Motivate today, we just have the guest for you, Doris Mayoli, a cancer survivor. She did not know what the future held for her. She did not know she had a year to live. She knew 3 months tops. But she's here to share her story on how she survived this beast called cancer. Follow me as we talk to Doris Mayoli. Hello.
Hi.
You look very tropical. But the sun allows. You look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming. Doris, I am humbled to finally meet you. Yours is a story of victory, over and over again, because, cancer is not something you just wake up from. No. It's something you live with, live through, and even after the recovery, you still have such a huge burden to share, to talk about it, and these memories do not just fade. It's something that comes to your mind every now and then, and thinking, what if, maybe, perhaps. Yeah. So maybe, probably, I just ambushed you with that.
No, by the way, everything you said is true.
Yeah.
I've come through my treatment, everything, I'm fine. It's been 12 years now. But the mornings I wake up and I think, what if? Or sometimes I feel an ache somewhere. Yeah. And I'm like, could it be coming back? So it's true. Cancer, once you've had it, is something that you live with for the rest of your life. Not because you're going through the treatment or anything, but just because there's things in your mind, or even the scars that you have from surgery and things like that. So it's always there. It's always there. Yeah.
Now, can you start from the beginning?
Okay.
Probably introduce yourself to the viewers, and you can tell us a story from there.
Okay. My name is Doris Mayoli, mother of 2 boys, cancer victor.
Yes.
12 years healed. What else do you want to know? That's generally me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not mentioning a lot of things, but probably we'll get there as we continue the conversation. Yeah. But maybe you can give us a scenario. You were leaving. What kind of life did you have before you knew, and then coming to know that this is what is happening to me and getting through with that?
My life before was just general. You go to work, come back home. I had my 2 children at the time. They were quite small, 2 and 3 years old. So just getting busy with the thing of being a mother, keeping my home. I was in a rocking marriage, so also trying to deal with the drama of that.
Yeah.
So, but just generally living from day to day. That's it. There was nothing, I wouldn't say there was anything like big happening in my life or anything I was thinking like in the next 5 years I want to be doing this or whatever. I was just going from day to day. Yeah, absolutely. That was it.
Interesting. Had you ever, been close to someone who had cancer, and did you ever think of yourself, in that person's shoes?
Actually, my mom died of cancer.
Yeah.
About 10 years before I got cancer. But at the time, like when I got cancer, I didn't know much about it. But even then, I knew less. Okay. And we didn't find out it was cancer until way after, because the doctor hid it from us. Oh. Yes, doctors. So after that, it was just...
Was it for the money? Sorry, I'm just stuck there. Why would they keep it? For the money?
Yes.
Keep coming back for treatment?
Yes. He actually knew what was going on, but he prescribed a treatment that was not going to help her. Yeah. And we believe that it cut short her life. Because even like the day we went to see her in hospital, they had just done the surgery, found out how extensive it was. And rather than telling us this is what's happening, and maybe now you need to spend a bit of time with your mom because, we don't know. The visiting hours were over, came, chased us. That night she went. So we even felt we didn't get the opportunity to say bye to her. Yeah. It's a wound that is still there to date.
Maybe you can tell us how you went to hospital and how you found out.
So I was, my marriage ended. Okay. And I moved in with, had to move in with my youngest sister and her husband, which was difficult. One day I'm in the shower and I feel this large, hard thing in my breast. Okay. And I was like, what is that? So I thought hormones, something. Yeah. So I ignored it. A few days later, I'm checking. I'm like, hey, this thing is not, it's not going, but it's not painful. I feel nothing. It's just there's a hard thing. It's like when you touch your elbow. It's just there. You can feel it's hard.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt or there's nothing. There's no sensation. It's not moving. Nothing's happening. Then about 2 months later, I thought, you know, what if it's something that needs treatment or something, or has to be removed?
Yeah.
And if I leave it, something will happen. And then I leave my kids and they're alone. Let me go get it checked.
Okay.
So I went to Nairobi Hospital, and they said, okay, we'll do a mammogram. They did a mammogram. They said, okay, yeah, it's a large lump. It was like 5 centimeters, like about like a golf ball. They said, but it doesn't look like anything. I think they were lying to me. I'm not sure.
I think they were just trying to be...
Yeah, what they call sensitive.
Yeah.
So they said, it looks large, so it has to come out, but it doesn't look like anything serious. So we'll send you to a doctor. Do you know an oncologist? I'd never even heard that term. So
you and Google became friends.
No, I'm like,
who is
so
that?
Said, well, there's one just across from the hospital.
Okay.
Go see him. We'll send you with a letter.
All right.
So of course I didn't know how to interpret what they had written. So I just went, gave it to him. He looked at it. I said, okay, yes, it's a large lump, so definitely we have to get it out. But not saying that there's anything, but just in case, let's go. You do a biopsy, so that we don't go to surgery, get it out, and then do the test, and then find, oh, we should have gone back. So you know. So I said, okay, fine, no problem. I'm still happy-go-lucky. There's nothing serious. So he gave me a letter for the pathologist. I went to the lab. They did the test. And what it was is that they stick a needle, a hollow needle, into the lump. And then they pull out some tissue, which now they take to the lab to test.
All right.
So I'm lying down. I can see the doctor's hand going up and down because she's, you know, trying to snag some tissue. I'm feeling nothing. She's asking me, are you feeling anything? I'm like, no. And she's going on. Then we finished. She told me, okay, get dressed. I'd gone with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
So as I was dressing, this I learned later. As I was dressing, she went and told my friend, when she comes for the results, make sure you come with her. So the doctor already knew, the pathologist already knew this is cancer. Oh. And the thing about cancer is that in the beginning, you feel nothing. Yeah. You feel nothing. I mean, that was a needle being stuck in my skin, inside.
Nothing.
But I felt nothing at all.
Goodness.
And I know a lot of people feel like, oh, but I don't feel any pain, so it can't be.
I think that's where the problem is. Because we go to the hospital because we're feeling pain.
No, this one, you feel something in you,
but it's not pain. Great. Yeah.
So, so I left. She told me, okay, you come for the results maybe tomorrow. I got back to the office, and about 2 hours later, they called me. On some pretext, oh, you know, you haven't finished paying for the test. I said, oh, but the office is going to pay. No, this one you have to come and clear. Just come. Just, okay. So I walked out of the office and I went, and they said, oh, yeah, we realized the office is paying. So, but anyway, since you're here, I know. Since you're here, just take this to the doctor. It was a sealed envelope. So we went, I went back to his clinic. I walk in, give him the envelope. He opens it, looks. He asked me, have you read this? I said, no. So he looks at it. He starts saying, I'm sorry, Doris. I'm so sorry, Doris.
Oh my God.
I'm looking at him like,
why are you sorry?
Why are you sorry? He says, we have cancer.
Goodness.
That's how I found out.
Goodness. It must have felt like the world is crashing.
The world ended for me.
Goodness.
Because, you know, it's like a million things going through your mind at the same time. It's like, okay, they've made a mistake. What do you mean cancer?
Test
so
again for all I care.
Does it hurt to get treatment? How long is this treatment going to take? I don't have time to get sick. All my children, oh gosh, I have so much work. I don't want to die. I have so much I haven't yet done in my life. Like it was just a whole confusion.
Limbo.
And then finally, I'm going to die. Like 3 months, I'm gone. That stuck in my head. I knew this was September 2nd. And I knew by the end of that year, I'll be gone.
Your children.
My children.
Who's the first person to? Of course, the lady you came with, your friend. Of course, she knew.
No, you said now what happened.
Yes.
See, I walked out of the hospital.
Yes.
I was just going to clear the payment.
Yeah.
But at some point, she realized I've gone, so she followed me.
Oh.
But that time, I had already gone to the doctor.
Okay.
And she walked in when I was waiting to see him, and I just looked at her like, "What are you doing?
What are you doing here?" Yeah.
So when I went in alone. But then when I finished with him, I came out. She was there. So I just went and sat in my car, and I was just crying. She came, sat with me, and we cried.
Wow, you know, there's so much that will
know. I have cancer.
Oh my good Lord.
Yeah.
You know, you talked about so many things that went through your head around that time, you know, and you knew after 3 months your life is kaput. Did you get tempted to put your house in order?
I did. I actually did. I even wrote a will. I wrote a will. I talked to my siblings. We agreed who would take my children after I go. I considered like writing a service. You know, there are people who do that.
Yeah.
But I thought, let me just write my will. I don't have much, but you know, at least there's something. Like everything I own can go to my kids. So and so will look after my children.
Wow.
So anyway, I went and I don't know how I survived. I went with a team of people from my office, and I didn't want to tell them because I didn't want it to color. You know, it was a conference we were going for. And so we'd go, I know they noticed I was very low throughout that time. But we'd go, we work somehow, and then in the evening I go to my room and I spend the night crying, asking why, you know, trying to figure out now what do I do. That's when I started writing my will and figuring out what needs to be done before I go. And we finished the trip 10 days later.
Okay.
So I came back to Kenya, and then we agreed with my sister, let's start with the pathologist. Let's go find out like everything that we can, what we need to do. So we went back to the pathologist, and she's like, I've been wondering where you are. Because we need to start something now. This thing is serious, you know?
Okay.
So I told her, the doctor told me I can go. She said, you know, I've even been asking, because I thought you're one of those people who needs to go away and just
take it all in, and then you'll come back.
He told me I can go. She said, okay, forget that doctor. Let me give you a list of 5 others.
Okay.
Go see them. This is going to be a long-term relationship with them. So whoever you feel you're connecting with, go with that one.
Okay.
So I went to the doctors. The first 3 were like, okay, hospital, we go, we cut off your breast, we whatever, you know. And one of them I asked, okay, so what do I do? Do I put a sock or what do I? He's like, what's your problem? Do you want to live? Imagine that's how they were talking. Do you want to live? Do what I tell you. It was really bad. But the last 2, one was like, you know, yes, you know, we'll just do a lumpectomy. The last 2 told me they'll do lumpectomies. The final one is the one I felt, okay, this one is treating me like, not a patient, but like a human being. Yeah. So this is what's happening. Do you understand this? Okay, what it means is this and this and this. So what we need to do, we'll do these and these tests. The reason is because of this and this and this.
Ah, great.
In fact, I need to send you to a surgeon to also check so that we see, should we start with chemo? Because if you start with that, maybe it can shrink it a bit. You know, like talking to me like, I need you to understand this thing.
Yeah.
And I felt, okay, now I'm with my right team. So those are the people that I began my treatment with. So from seeing him, I went to see the surgeon. He checked the lump. He said, yeah, maybe we can try a lumpectomy, which is just the removal of the lump. Yeah. And then after that, you can continue with your chemos. The oncologist told me, yeah, let's do a full test, like checks, x-ray, everything, so that we see the extent, so that we know what kind of treatment are we prescribing. And he said, you know, we're a team. We need to, so if you have any questions, anytime you need to call, just call anybody like that.
What stage was the cancer at?
It was 3B.
3B. Heading 4?
Yes, 4. Heading 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got into treatment, you started chemo?
So I started chemo. They started with 3 chemos, and they said, yes, it's actually reducing. Okay. So they said, okay, we'll do one final one, and then now you go for surgery.
The reaction to that is something else, the way the body reacts to chemo.
It was interesting. The first chemo I went for, I mean, I'd read all the horror stories in that book.
I think that's what we get.
Yes, that became my manual.
Yeah.
So I read about throwing up and hair falling off and what.
Tongue turning color.
Everything. And I went for the chemo. And I remember after I finished, I was like, oh, isn't so bad.
Did you at some point get to talk to your sons about this, or did they notice something was wrong?
I did.
Yeah.
Remember, they were still children.
Yes, they were.
By that time, they were 4 and 3. And I knew if I could come and tell them, Mommy has cancer, they won't understand what that is. So I just told them that I would be unwell, that I'm unwell, and that I'd spend a lot of time sleeping, just trying to get better. And sometimes I might even have to go and sleep in hospital, but I'll be fine. When
was the turning point? At what point did you realize, you know what, there's actually hope? It's not all lost.
After my treatment.
After? Wow, you did this like a routine.
I just went from day to day. Okay, today what am I supposed to do? Go see the doctor. Okay, I get up, I
go see the doctor.
Okay, today what am I, oh, today's chemo day. I do chemo. Today what am I doing? I'm going to work. Today, like that. So it was just a day by day. I decided every day I'm going to live deliberately. I'm going to choose how I live that day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow, as much as I can, negative situations around me or negative people. I didn't like jump back into doing stuff, because again I was feeling like now I've been given my life again. I've been given a second chance. And there's a lot that I felt was wrong with my previous life. Even in just like you're moving from day to day without really knowing where you're going.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this time it needs to be deliberate.
Oh, wow.
I need to live on purpose.
That's interesting, because this takes me back to where you started this conversation from, when I asked you what was your life before, and you were just living one day at a time.
Yeah.
So purposeless.
Yes.
Now you will, oh goodness.
Now I'm like, okay, I need to understand, okay, so there has to be a reason why I'm here. So what is that reason? And again, I need to be more deliberate about what I allow into my life.
Yeah.
And what I put out.
Wow.
You know, so it has to be a very purposeful life.
That's, like I said, a story full of victory left, right, center. Even when you didn't believe in yourself, when you did not see what the next day is holding for you apart from the routine. But now after that, that's when you, that whole victory gave birth to Twakutukuza.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you could tell us about that.
What happened to me?
Okay.
I didn't sit and think, what shall I do? What I did was I finished my treatment, then I started thinking back through all the things that I went through.
Yeah.
And how crazy that journey was. How I didn't have information. How I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
How I understood that the way I think about this whole process actually made a difference to how I went through it. And I thought, you know, there must be many people who are in the same situation I'm in. And I was like, I wish there was a way I could tell everybody, this is how you can do it so that you can come out better. And it came to a head one day when one of my colleagues came and told me, you know, we just found out my daughter has cancer.
Oh, goodness.
And she's not talking to us. She comes home, locks herself in her room. I'm her mom. I want to help her. I don't know what to do. Can you tell me, what should I do?
I just got goosebumps.
So immediately I was like, how do I take my experience and give her so that she knows her daughter will be fine and also knows how to support her through this. And first thing I thought, you know what, I've been keeping a journal.
Yeah.
Like whenever I need to just process or pour out, I would write in this journal. And I was like, I wish I could just give this to her. But you know, there's a lot of personal things because I just wrote it raw, how I was feeling, how I was thinking. And I thought, okay, maybe if I take bits that would be helpful, put them together and give her. Then as I thought that, I thought, you know, there might be other people who also need the same information.
Yeah.
So I put it into a book. And she's one of the first people that I gave a copy to. And then I thought, okay, I really, like during that time, there's a lot of songs that encourage me. I've been involved in music like for all my life.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of songs that encourage me, or scriptures from the Bible that encourage me, like you open and it just speaks to what you need. And I thought, you know, maybe there are people who are going through illness or broken situations like I was, that might need that healing. So maybe if I put together these songs and maybe perform them with my sisters, one other person, and we have maybe invite a group of maybe 20 at the most, do a small thing, and I sing to them and share with them my journey. Maybe they'll get encouragement, maybe they'll get their healing through that. Yeah. And then now I can figure out what to do with my life. So as I shared this with people, rather than, you know, I was hoping like they'll say, oh, okay, yes, I'll come. Rather than saying that, they were saying, I want to be involved. I want to sing. So before I knew it, I had 100 people wanting to sing. Goodness. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? I can't tell them no. So I thought, okay, change of plan. Easiest audience, let's do it in a church. Yeah. So I spoke with 3 churches and they said, yeah, you can come and do it. So we rehearsed the songs. I got a band, went and planned the concert. We were calling it the project. So we did the project. And, but then even as we were planning it, I'm thinking, I still need to be able to help somebody. There must be people who need help. But I don't want to replicate what somebody else might be doing. Let me find out who's doing what in Kenya and see if I can join them. So the only group I met that made sense to me was 2 ladies who had also gone through cancer. And what they used to do was go to the countryside and just for awareness, tell people about it, show people how to do self-checks. And then if you're found to have cancer, they refer you to the nearest hospital. Okay. So I called them. I said, okay, can I hang out with you guys? Can I help you? They said, yeah, no problem. So I told them, okay, I'm planning this concert, but as soon as I finish, I can join your team. So one time they came and told me, we have 2 patients who really need help. And since you're planning to do this thing in church, and church people are usually good at giving, why don't you ask them if you can give so that we can help these guys with their treatment? Okay. I said, okay, no problem. Wow. Can I meet them? I met them, a man and a woman, both with breast cancer. The man had had it 6 times. The woman had had it twice. And both of them, like, their resources were completely exhausted. So I thought, okay, we'll even have them at the concert. We'll interview them, one at one concert, another at another. So we did that, and people gave and were able to pay for their treatment, which made a huge difference to them. Yeah. But I had money left over once we finished. So I'm like, I can't keep this. So I started asking around, does anyone know if there's anyone else who needs help with their treatment? So I got one other person, and we did that, and I gave them money. But then now my choir of 100, they're like, I didn't know this concert would be like this. You know, I have Siri who really needs to come and attend this thing. Please, let's do it one more time. Please, 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 please. Okay. So eventually I agreed. So we did it. This was in September, because I did it on the anniversary of my diagnosis. So the following February, I said, okay, last one. So someone said, why don't we this time charge something small? And then we can use this money to help other people. So I thought, okay, we'll do it to be able to do the concert and then help other people. Then once that's done, now I'm done. So we did the concert and people came, and it was still like an experience, and they gave. I mean, it was like over and above the gate fee they gave during the concert. So again, I was left with money. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Who needs? So I met a few other people. I helped them. Now people are coming and saying, we've heard what you're doing. We want to give. So I give. I mean, they give. I'm like, okay, now what do I do? So eventually I thought, you know, this is becoming ridiculous. Okay. So I went to a bank and I said, I need to open an account so that I can keep the funds separate. They said, okay, what name? We decided one of the songs that we did that year was Twakutukuza. It had that word, and we thought, oh, that's catchy. Let's use that. So I said, we'll call it Twakutukuza Trust. They said, okay, we can't open an account for a trust unless you have an MOU. You can't have an MOU unless you have a board. So now we had to go back to the beginning. Whoa. I need to get a board. Yeah. Then we agreed to have an MOU. Then we register. Then now we open the account. So we went through that whole process. And then, so by that time, you know, I'd given in. I'd said, okay, fine. Okay, we're doing this thing. So the following October, again, we had another concert, and then it became an annual thing. So we do raise some money. Whatever money we collect, we help people through the year. But I don't want to go to a place and they're asking me, so, until now, so it's your hair, or why are your nails black, or whatever. And I thought, what if we have a place where women can come together and we do an event for them? It's safe, you can talk about what you're going through, but we can also do makeovers for you and help you look beautiful for that day. Absolutely. So that you're not always thinking about cancer. Is that time when I was looking horrible, which we all are at that time, you know.
It's true.
And so we started an event for that. And you've seen other people have picked that up.
Yes. So as we come to the end of this conversation, Doris, it's been quite moving, but probably an encouragement and, empowering those people out there who are probably struggling with these survivors of this, and they continue to survive. And people who are not talking about this and they've survived it, probably right into this camera.
Okay, first of all, for people who have gone through this and you've come out of it, I celebrate you. I celebrate every one of you. And I urge you, please come out and talk about it, because as we talk about it, others know you can actually survive cancer. There is life after cancer. And you can even share things that you did that helped you. I mean, was it, like one of the things that I was told was, don't worry, I mean, this is a bit controversial, but don't worry too much about what you eat. Just make sure you're eating during your treatment. Things like that. Make sure you're drinking a lot. So things like that will help somebody else. So if you share the things that you did that helped you walk this journey, or if it's ways that you were thinking about yourself, or things activities you're involved in, we need to share this so that more and more people will be able to see that life.
For the people out there who'd like to reach out and, get treatment, get this kind of encouragement, get help from Twakutukuza Trust, how do they go about that?
Well, they can get in touch with us. They can send an email to info@twatrust.org. And we can, just reach us. We'll tell you, we'll answer your questions as much as we can. We work with some doctors as well, so it's not like we are medics, so we'll give you all the advice.
No.
But we will consult with doctors or direct you to the doctor so that you can get advice. The other thing about all this is that the people who feel cancer is such an expensive disease to treat. Me, who gets this much salary, what can I do? But I encourage guys, even if you give a little, I give 500 bob a month, and then another person gives 200, another one gives 1,000. We pool all this and we're able to help. So if you want to support the work that we do, or you want to support a specific patient, you can also get in touch with us through, again, info@twatrust, and then we'll give you the modalities of doing that.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Doris.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure. And if you're watching the show, if you've been listening to this conversation, a few things that you need to take home with. If you are going through cancer, do not despair. You don't have to go through this alone, because there's a huge support system in Kenya that is here to hold your hand, walk with you the journey, show you the directions to take, and give you, reason to face another day. If you've survived cancer, then there's an even bigger platform for you to speak and encourage and tell people, you know what, I went through this, and you can also do the same. This has been Motivate with me, Mukali, and my guest, Doris. We hope that you definitely learned a lot from this. We're taking a very short commercial break. When we come back, we have Catherine Mwangi, books and blogs, and then we've got Beyond the Sport and the kitchen. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. Thank you, Doris.
You're welcome.
Everything I do, I know it adds value. It compounds to something greater.
Yeah.